Few players achieve the ultimate accolade of world-class status, but Giovanni van Bronkhorst fits the bill perfectly. With all the attributes necessary for the modern midfielder, tenacious tackling, the vision to play killer passes, and the ability to score from distance with either foot, Gio expresses himself on the world stage.
If I think about it today, I'm very blessed to become a football player and to have all the chances to become one, and to give joy to the people on the stands, and to be in a good position in life. So yeah, I'm very honored to be one.
21 goals flowed in just 2.5 seasons in the light blue jersey before injury cruelly interrupted his career. But fully fit again, Gio continues his incredibly successful time at Ibrox, during which he has collected 5 winners' medals.
Simply the best often echoes around Ibrox. Now you know why.
And his success at Rangers has been recognised at international level, with Gio established in the Dutch squad, taking his place at Euro 2000 and in the 2002 World Cup qualifying campaign. At 26, Giovanni van Bronkhorst is at the peak of his powers, a star for club and country.
That's great.
20 years ago, he was just a little boy, taking his first tentative steps in the game, and he was to learn in one of the best football schools of all. Rotterdam, Holland's second city and Europe's largest port. It's home to 600,000 people and one of the continent's most famous football teams, Feyenoord, a club once managed by Johan Cruyff and home to players such as Ruud Gullit and John de Wolf. It's the place every young boy wants to be, and for Gio, it was a case of taking every stage in his stride. His dad, Victor, was instrumental in his early development.
I was always playing with the ball. And when he's not playing with the ball, he had his ball here under his arms. When we go to a birthday or other party, always with the ball. My parents are living next street by LMO. And yes, I said, Giovanni, 5, 6 years old, come to play in my club. Okay, you want to play? He also play make sport taekwondo. And he must choose taekwondo or play soccer or football. But he said, yeah, well, I want to play football. And he play football in my club. And yes, and when he, on Saturday, early, 9 o'clock, play football, he make 9 goals, 10 goals, very lot of goals. And it was very, yeah, to see it, yeah, very funny. First time, but then you got to think more seriously. He's got a lot of talent.
The next stage of Gio's journey was to try to impress the Feyenoord coaches at one of the club's open days, which continue to this day in the shadow of the sensational De Kuip Stadium. But as Victor remembers, it was a day which revealed that Gio's early promise had already been recognised.
You go to the open day, and anyway. We arrived and there were 100 children, and yes, we're standing in the row, and many must write in for a name, and it's his turn, and he said, yes, my name is Giovanni van Bronkhorst. But they asked him a letter for permission from LMO. He said, no, I don't have a letter from LMO. Oh, I'm sorry. You can play, yeah. But he said, oh, it's very, what a pity. But other guys from the direction said, Giovanni, we have already seen you play football, and we call you.
And call they did. Gio was to come under the guidance of the man who coached him through the Feyenoord youth system to the senior team, and today proudly watches him play in the blue of Rangers and the orange of Holland.
Yeah, well, the man was Mauk Martens. Well, he was the trainer for the youth, like 2 or 4 years older than me, and he always picked me from a younger squad and get me on the bench where with the guys who were 2 years older than me, and I was like 13 or 12. During training, he was very, very kind. I mean, when you have to do exercises, and he was very disciplined. You have to do the exercises well, and he was also very kind, so making jokes and everything, but I think it was a good mix.
He was learning a lot, yeah, he was listening, and he was trying to do his best, and he was always moving on the pitch. That was the most important thing between the other players, that he was always moving, and he was not standing like a dove, but always moving, always moving. So we like that, and yeah, we start with passing the ball, and he had such a good passing and such a good insight that you can see that he was bringing a good edge. His character was, his mentality was very good. Yeah, he always threw the team in front, and he was make the things that happened on the pitch. He passes the ball to his colleagues, and yeah, it was amazing to see when he was not so strong, but his mentally was very good. I know that he had patience, yeah. And he was the first player in Feyenoord. They have patience so long that he wants to be in the first team. That's very important. Another guy was nervous, yeah, about the situation, but he standing, always standing and wait for his chance, and that's very kind of him.
And that patience was rewarded. After being in the youth team, which won the league in 1991, Gio, at the tender age of 16, was drafted into the senior squad. Some of the players were his idols, but his former teammate and Dutch international Henk Fraser remembers the young Van Bronkhorst was not intimidated.
You know, he's a type of player, and I think also always the bigger players they have a bit of arrogance. And I think he was 16 or 17, and the first time he trained with us. And his first, duel was at that time with the captain, John de Wolf, and he was our, big defensive player. And I think his first duel, he just basically just kicked him. And I thought, I kind of like that spirit. You know, he was young and he was talented, of course, already at that time. And I thought, that's the way a player at Feyenoord is supposed to be. And I think basically that's the way I see him. He's a good player, but with the right attitude and the right, heart for the game. Always want to be in possession. And it's a good player, of course.
The final piece in the jigsaw before taking centre stage at the Kuip involved gaining valuable first-team experience away from Feyenoord.
I had a loan spell at RKC, and that went quite well. I played some 12 or 15 games for the club. Well, it made me definitely stronger. Yeah, but of course, playing for a club like Feyenoord in a stadium like the Kuip is very special. And of course, the first time I played in there, I was quite nervous, yeah. But because you were there for a long time in the stands as a supporter and just cheering the team on, and but now you are on the pitch, so it was very strange feeling. But in the end, after a couple of games you played in the team, it just became normal.
And then the moment arrived when he scored his first goal for the club he adored.
I got the ball through, from which I think, I'm not sure, but I managed to go on face the keeper, and with my left foot I put it in the far corner, and that was my first goal. And I remember when I scored, it was quite quiet in the stadium. Of course they were all cheering, but in my head it was very quiet because it was, well, a strange feeling scoring for Feyenoord in the Kuip, and it happened so fast. But yeah, it was my first goal for Feyenoord in the league, and yeah, that was most of my memorable goal.
And it was to be the first of many. European experience at international youth level in the company of Patrick Kluivert and Bobby Petter, under the guidance of a certain Dick Advocat, and then for Feyenoord in the Champions League, set a new benchmark for Gio to achieve. The 1995 European campaign, alongside players such as Ronald Koeman, ended in semi-final defeat against Rapid Vienna. But the following year, Gio was to achieve his dream of playing for the national side. And the opposition in the friendly in the Amsterdam Arena, well, just about the best team on the planet.
Well, that was the day I got my first invitation for the national team, and yeah, I was quite happy. And but it was, for me, it was very strange because my parents were flying the day before on vacation to Indonesia, so it was quite. For me, it was, well, not frustrating, but I just wanted to have my parents as well understand, you know, because they were very important for me in my career, just supporting me all the way up to the top level. Playing against the likes of Cafu, Ronaldo, they were all great players, and Rivaldo. So yeah, for me it was I had a lot of respect for the players, and I really looked up to them when I had my warming up. But as I said before, when the whistle goes, you're just equal, and that's how I felt that time. And I just wanted to show the people, and especially, of course, the gaffer that I was ready for playing at that level. I think we played 2-2. I played quite a good game, I think. Of course, in the beginning you're a little bit nervous, but I almost scored that game as well, but yeah, I think I had quite a decent performance.
So the journey that had taken Gio from his dad's club at the age of 6 to the Dutch side was complete. As his international career flourished, though, Feyenoord were toiling, and Gio witnessed his close friend Henrik Larsson leave the club for Celtic. Gio was about to make the biggest decision of his life. Four years at Feyenoord had come and gone, and as France '98 beckoned with Holland amongst the favourites, Giovanni was pondering his football future. There were offers from Spain and Italy, but Dick Advocaat's powers of persuasion lured him to Glasgow, with Chairman David Murray concluding the £5.5 million deal.
And it was a young guy, well, not a young guy, but he looks very young to me for being a chairman. And from the first moment, he was very polite and very warm. So, well, and then he came with an offer I couldn't refuse. So the deal was done at the moment. I think a big factor was the president of Dick Advocaat and Bert van Lingen and Arthur Newman. I think for me it was very important for my first club abroad that I would feel like home, and of course the gaffer being here already, and Arthur as well. So that meant a lot to me. But well, since the first day I came here, not only those three, but all the other players who are involved at the team at the moment made me very welcome. So it was, in the beginning, was already a good step for me. And well, to wear the number 8 shirt, who was worn years before that by Gascoigne, I think that for me it was a big honor to play with that shirt. And all I could do is to show the fans and the club that I was worth it.
Well, I know Giovanni quite long, also from the youth teams at Feyenoord. After that, he came also in the national teams, youth teams from Holland. I was involved in that as well. After that, he played some years in the first team of Feyenoord, and I was at that time team manager of PSV. Now, he was a very skillful player and still a little bit shy, and but quite. There's a lot of technique, and I heard that he was probably available to buy, and that was the reason that with Arthur Newman, for me, were the two most important players in the beginning.
The new era, which was to see Gio scoring 9 goals in a treble-winning first season, began in the most unusual circumstances. A UEFA Cup qualifying tie against Shelbourne, which had been moved from Dublin to Tranmere Rovers ground near Liverpool. It was Gio's first experience of the loyal Gers support.
I remember that we came with the bus to the stadium, and well, the whole street was packed with Rangers fans, and it was very. Well, for me, I never had that before, not with my old club. But well, they made their presence when we came there, and it felt really good.
Well, they turned Tynecastle into a fantastic stadium.
His SPL introduction took place on the 2nd of August 1998, a game which ended in defeat, but Gio made his contribution to Rangers' goal, albeit inadvertently.
And of course, there's another Dutchman in the Rangers ranks, Giovanni van Bronkhorst, 23 years of age. He is immensely talented. And a man who will know much about him is his coach, who's also Dutch, Dick Advocaat, the first foreign coach of Glasgow Rangers. And he's a man who knows what he wants. Gattuso, who was apparently linked with a possible move to Juventus recently. Jonas turns cross. Jury down for Van Bronckhorst. Rod Wallace with a great chance. And Rangers are back in the game. And Rod Wallace makes an immediate impact in Scottish football.
I don't want to say I told you so, but I'm going to say I told you so. It's amazing how many goals he had come from shots that are mishit. And here's another one. Gordon Jury leads it into the path of Van Bronckhorst, who completely mishits his shot, and it's a great finish with Wallace. Rangers are back in the game. They're certainly getting goals today. Here you see, he completely miscues his shot. What does Wallace do? He comes in. The important thing, he hits the target and you've got a chance and he scores a good goal.
Gio's debut goal against Shelbourne wasn't captured in camera, but his first goal at Ibrox at the end of August is a moment he remembers vividly.
Yeah, I think I got the ball from the right side, I think from Andre, and then I turned with my right foot inside and I shot it with my left in the, I think left from the keeper, like half high, and I was quite relieved. I mean, to score for your new club, it's always nice, And a goal like that, yeah, for me it was good. And my parents were at the stand, in the stand as well, so it was quite a good feeling then.
Less than a month later, the young Dutchman was to experience a totally new football sensation. At the age of 23, he'd played for Feyenoord against Ajax, but even that could not prepare him for his first Old Firm encounter, which unusually ended in a no-scoring draw.
I was surprised. I mean, the boys told me already what to expect, but I think it's very difficult to explain the atmosphere in an Old Firm. You just have to see yourself and to feel it yourself. And well, when we came on the pitch during before the game and standing there, the noise was so loud. It was the loudest noise I have ever heard in the football stadium, and well, the atmosphere is fantastic.
Domestic dominance had been lost in the ill-fated bid for 10 in a row. Restoring that was the first goal for Advocaat, his right-hand man Bert van Lingen, and high-profile countrymen Gio and Arthur Newman. But they had been brought up to measure themselves on the European stage. And in that first season, they set about re-establishing Rangers as a European force, with Van Bronkhorst the hero on a memorable night in the Ulrich Haberland Stadion against Bayer Leverkusen.
Van Bronkhorst, da ist es! Kein Abseits, gar kein Thema. Und jetzt wird's ganz schwer für Bayer Leverkusen. 0-1 die Rangers.
I remember, of course, the goal I scored, with the corner was knocked away, and then Barry had the ball, and was facing with his back against their goal, and facing our goalkeeper, and he made a good dummy, and he turned and he gave the ball to JJ on the left, and I just walked with him, and I was sure I wasn't offside, so I keep an eye on that and just walked with him, and JJ gave me the ball, and I scored with my right foot, which is quite peculiar.
Gio was on a high again in Germany when he helped Holland to a November draw with their hosts. But 3 days later in Glasgow, he was on the biggest downer of his football life. His first goal in the Old Firm fixture, a masterly free kick, meant little to him as Rangers crashed to a 5-1 defeat, with 2 of the Celtic goals coming from his great friend, Henrik Larsson.
So within a minute of that Henrik Larsson goal for Celtic, Giovanni van Bronkhorst with this superb curling free kick in off the inside of the post. Gives Rangers some hope. It's a long way back now.
Fortunately, there was no time to dwell on that result, as just 3 days later, Rangers were again demonstrating their newfound European confidence with a 1-1 home draw against Parma. And the following weekend, it was the new team's first final against St Johnstone at Parkhead. And by the end of 90 minutes, the first silverware had been collected.
Well, it was 4 months in the season when we got our first medal. And it gives the players a lot of confidence for the coming games. So we were quite happy to win it. And well, as long also the manager, he said to us, well, we want to win any competition we're in, and well, of course the European Cup didn't went to Ibrox that season, but yeah, we wanted to win all the domestic medals, and the League Cup was the first one.
Gio brought his goals tally to half a dozen before the winter break with a strike against Dunfermline. And although the European experience ended with an unfortunate reverse in Parma, it had given Gio and the other players the desire to be at Europe's top table. And that meant winning the title.
Over there, the same. Make power with the headers. So good throwing. Make a step.
The winter break gave the squad, newly boosted by the arrival of Neil McCann, a chance to bond and to prepare for the Championship and Scottish Cup challenges ahead.
Yeah, well, we had I think we went there for about 10 days. We were first couple of days we were in Orlando, and the last 4 or 5 days in Fort Lauderdale. And I remember that when we went from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale, we had a stop at Universal Studios, and we went with the team there, and it was quite a good day out, and just going with each other in all the rides, so it was very nice to do.
Batteries recharged, the Light Blues entered a 10-match unbeaten run, with Gio pulling the strings in midfield alongside Barry Ferguson and George Alberts. During that sequence, Gio scored his favourite goal of the season against Dundee at Ibrox.
Still has it, Gabriel Amato. And Van Bronkhorst! A beauty!
Just from the moment it went from my feet, I knew it's going to be in the top corner. It's just one of those shots when you know, well, this is going to be a goal, definitely. And then, well, when I hit the ball and I saw the ball straight in the corner and just saw the keeper flying to it, but he just couldn't reach it.
Dittmar is told to come across, and maybe he came across of his own accord. Had a word with Alberts. Sure they worked on this on the training ground. Oh, Van Bronkhorst's shot took a wicked deflection, and Rangers are having a stroll in the park here.
Beautifully worked move. Dazovic comes out the wall to try and charge it down, but he's fooled here. He thinks Alberts fancies it. Instead he knocks it square. Van Bronkhorst is on his way. What a good strike that is. It might have taken a slight deflection here. Dazovic thought Alberts was going to hit it. And it does indeed. It takes a wicked deflection.
It's a bit of ball out to Kanchelskis. Wanted to go on the outside and does. Good run inside. And Bronkhorst scores! Brilliant goal! Beautifully struck!
Further goal against Dunfermline contributed to the building of a commanding lead in the league, which was to culminate in one of the great days in Rangers' long history.
Well, we had John Gregg in the locker room the whole day, as always. He made sure we all understand the importance of the game, and so all the players were up for it. And of course, we also had in mind the last time we visited Celtic Park with the 5-1 defeat, and it's quite a big humiliation for us. And well, we wanted to win the league very badly, and to win it in Celtic Park, well, it was a good opportunity for us to make the season well, good and successful.
Prepare yourself for Britain's biggest club match at Britain's biggest club ground. The lucky 60,000 inside Celtic Park at their loudest and proudest. Listen to the noise, feel the tension, and experience the passion of Old Firm Derby Day. It's Celtic against Rangers. Temperatures are falling elsewhere, but not in the East End of Glasgow. Oh no, temperatures here are rising and rising and rising. Tony Vidmar missed last week's game against Aberdeen with a leg injury. Van Bronkhorst slides it through here to Rod Wallace, and it's in from McCann, and Rangers have the lead. And are they edging towards the title? Neil McCann is buried underneath his celebrating teammates.
Yeah, it all came from a good early ball from George Alberts to release Giovanni van Bronkhorst here on the left. Rod Wallace wanted it in behind and got it, and nobody picked up Neil McCann at the front post. And although he's stretching, it's well controlled. All he's trying to do is get it on target, and nobody picked up McCann's run to the front post there. A well-worked move by Rangers, and a good finish from Neil McCann, who looks as sharp as a tack tonight.
Up steps the hammer, but he doesn't hammer it. He's side-footed into the corner, and Rangers are closing in on the new Scottish Premier League trophy. Neil McCann. McCann is through here. He's past the keeper, and Neil McCann has clinched the championship for Rangers.
The ball's played through. Scott Marshall tries to win it, caught on the wrong side. McCann's quick enough to knock it past Kerr and roll the ball into the net. Still a fair bit of work for him to do here as Stuart Kerr came out to close him down, and he handled it beautifully.
Well, I'm almost lost for words. It's the full-time whistle. Rangers are champions of Scotland. They've reclaimed the title from Celtic, and just to rub it in, their crowning moment comes on the ground of their fierce rivals.
The joy, just the moment the whistle goes and you're champion. And for me, it was the first time I was champion in my football career. So it was a special moment. And well, to share it with the Rangers fans at Celtic Park, yeah, I think that's quite rarely to do. I remember we first went to each other and just hugged each other and, you know, do the things you do when you become champions. And after that, we went running to our fans, like on group, like the whole group together, and to see all the fans cheering, and I think there were some of them crying, and yeah, it was just a great moment in my life so far.
Only one prize remained, and once more Rangers had to face Celtic to win it. In a muted showpiece at the new Hampden, Advocaat's side clinched it with a solitary Rod Wallace strike.
Mjällby. In step D'Amato for Rangers. And Bronkhorst. Vidmar. It went away from Wallace, but it comes back to him! And Rangers are in front in the Scottish Cup final! And it's Rod Wallace!
Well, who else? The man who really has lit up Rangers' season since he came north of the border. Once again, Vidmar was involved in the left-hand side here. And it's played in behind Wallace there. It eventually breaks to him, sits up perfectly. Jonathan Gould exposed and left with absolutely no chance. Just sits up beautifully for him, and he was never going to miss from this range. Falls behind him there, gets the break of the ball off Neil McCann. And you can see the delight in Dick Advocaat's face.
Lambert to Mjällby. There's no time for anything fancy now. That's what you've got to do. Get it up there. Tommy Johnson away by Amoruso. Hugh Dallas has checked his watch. Here's Van Bronkhorst. It's all over. Last season they were left with nothing. This season they have everything. It's a tremendous treble for Dick Advocat's new look Rangers team. And it really doesn't get much better than this.
And at the end, Gio was first there to help hurl the coach in the air in celebration.
It's time for Rangers to bounce up these steps. Lorenzo Amoruso is about to show the watching world that Rangers have won the Scottish Cup and the treble.
From his debut against Shelbourne 10 months previously to winning the treble at Hampden, it had been an eventful journey.
For me, it was the first year abroad in a different country, and well, on the pitch it went quite well, but also in life. Me and my wife had a good spell in Scotland at the time. It was very nice to be so warm welcome into Scotland, and well, we felt good in our heads as well here. We felt home, and well, the success we had the first year, I couldn't dream of it in the beginning of the season. So for me, it was the perfect season.
Here's Van Bronkhorst. Cleared to the edge of the box again. Mole's there. Is it the fourth? Oh, that's magnificent! Michael.
A new season meant new arrivals, and with £4 million striker Michael Moles on board at Ibrox, the Dutch influence was growing, and Giovanni was flourishing in his home from home.
Oh, quite a boost. That he, because of course I know Michael from Holland. Well, the way he played, he can add something to the team. So, and well, the impact he had his first season, especially the first months, was immense. You know, when you play Michael a ball, that he will keep it, and if you play him the ball and you make a move and just ask the ball back, he gives it perfectly. You know, he can also make his own action, so he's a very good player to have in your team.
The season warmed up with a tribute to one of the club's great servants, 9-in-a-row hero Ian Ferguson. Gio and Michael got their shooting boots on early against Sunderland to show that Rangers were fired up for the challenges ahead. And one of the major tests was only weeks away. A chance to avenge the previous season's European exit at the hands of Parma. Alberto Malassani's £60 million aristocrats were blown away, and Advocat's blue and white army were on the march again.
The second year we played Parma, I think we felt much more confident. The first season, the game on Ibrox, I was I was suspended that game, and I could watch the game from the stand, and I think we had too much respect for them, especially in the home game, and we gave them too much space to play, and well, we really looked up to them at the time. But the second season, yeah, we were much more confident, and of course we showed them some respect, but in the game we wanted to win desperately because we were very hungry to get involved in the Champions League. So well, I mean, that game we played, I think from the first moment you could see that we were really up for it, and well, in the end, winning 2-0 was a great score for us to take to Italy.
Was McCann. That's a beautiful ball onto Vidmar. Turning inside, is he gonna let flies in? He scored! Vidmar scores for Rangers. The big Australian international did the right thing to get inside of a player screaming for the ball, and a touch of the unexpected did it. Gets that one away now to Wallace. Reina's trying to attack on the right-hand side. Wallace still going, there's a little touch across. Reina with it, and he scored! Reina! Beautiful goal by Reina!
Great laid back from the wee man McCann. Claudio Reina, full strike, in between the legs of two round. Buffon could do nothing about it. And thankfully Rangers get that second goal they so badly needed.
Intelligently put back as well.
That glorious goal, which essentially ensured Rangers' presence in the Champions League, was scored by Giovanni's greatest friend at Ibrox, Claudio Reina. That the two of them should form a special bond may surprise people who've witnessed the swelling Dutch colony at Ibrox.
He's alright, not too bad. He's a good guy. Now, when we first came here, we had we just kind of hit it off, whatever, and we've been good friends, and our wives as well are good friends, so it's nice to have that, and I think it's normal when the foreigners come to a certain club, kind of stick together because you don't have family around. So we've also spent some vacation time together and away from football, which is nice, and you just have some of the same interests as well, and just like I said before, we just kind of hit it off from the first time we met. No, he's been great for the club since I've been here. He's been tremendous, domestically also and in Europe. He's just an important player. Midfield players do a lot of work and creating goals and also scoring goals, and also with his country now he's well established on a great national team, and that says a lot. And we all know in Holland the competition for places is very strong, and he's one of the starters there in the team now. So that says enough for his quality.
But it's not just in Holland that competition for places is strong.
No, I mean, it's just normal. You just play in training and you just compete against each other, and a lot of times I play against him and George because they're left-sided guys, and Arthur Newman as well. But there's times when we play in the same team in practice, but once you go out into practice, you kind of, I wouldn't say you don't forget your friendships, but you just go out and you play and compete and you just try to win in everything you do, and but once it's all over, you get on with it, and it's all over, and you're friends like always.
And it was that togetherness which took the squad to within a single goal of progressing to the second group stage of the Champions League. If Gio has looked peerless in Scottish football, then his performances in Europe have confirmed the class that now makes him one of the most admired midfielders in the game. He particularly enjoyed the double-header with PSV Eindhoven, the club Dick Advocaat managed before he came to Rangers.
Fantastic, of course, for the Dutch players as well. And for me personally, well, when I made the move to Rangers, people thought it was not a good move for me because the league was too bad, and I deserved to be in a much better team. And well, of course, we made sure that they were wrong, and we did it in Eindhoven with the 1-0, and I don't think they were convinced at the time, but well, I think after the game against us on Ibrox, they were wrong, and for me it was a good feeling to beat PSV twice in that group.
Here's Such now. Now Albert. He's going to try and diagonal, and he does. Moles just getting away, still in play, still Michael Moles. Still there, and he can't get a shot in. Here's Albert, he's done it! Albert has scored for Rangers! 84 minutes gone and Rangers are in the lead as a big fellow who came on as a substitute turns that little knot of Rangers supporters into ecstasy, and here's a man remaining remarkably stoic. But brilliant play by Moles again, Alan.
Absolutely superb. You can see here, I mean, he's all over him there. He manages to get away, direct play, good overstep in, tries the shot eventually. It comes off the defender, comes to the big man. And I can't give this guy enough praises. I think his attitude tonight has been superb.
Unfortunately, the Champions League interest ended in a 1-0 defeat at Munich, compounded by a season-wrecking injury to Michael Moles. And again, a German side, Borussia Dortmund, put paid to Rangers' hopes of progress in the UEFA Cup. However, on a personal note, Gio had a very special occasion to look forward to as the squad headed into the midwinter break, his marriage to longtime girlfriend Marika.
Well, a break is always nice in the season, especially the winter break. And well, to get married, it's a big occasion in your life, and so we really enjoyed the time we had then in Holland. We went to the same school together when we were like teenagers, around 14, 15 years. And well, I started to know her like when I was 15 or 16 years. I really saw her at the time at school, but never talked with her. And when I was 16, I started talking to her, and I really liked her at the time. But well, we never got the chance to get with each other and to date or anything. But funny was that when we both graduated, we started seeing each other every 3 or 4 months. We just bumped into each other and have a nice chat, and then say, well, goodbye. But I remember it was the summer of '94, and Holland played against Brazil that night. They lost on penalties, and we were watching it in a bar. And after that, we went to a big party in Rotterdam, and well, I saw Marika again that day. So yeah, we ended up talking with each other 3 or 4 hours, and that's very long. Imagining it in a disco with the big blasters around you, and the music was very loud, but we just had eye for each other that night. And well, we ended up seeing each other a lot more than before. And I probably was 1 month later or 2 months later that we actually got together and started to date and started a relationship. So, and well, I married her last year. So yeah, it was it's very nice to marry your well, your high school, not exactly high school, but marry your girlfriend who was yours from a young age. So.
And a certain Braveheart added a truly Scottish dimension to the wedding reception.
Colin came up to the party with a costume from the Tartan Army. I mean, was really nice to see, and well, my family loved it. I mean, to see, I knew my uncle was a big fan of him already, and well, of course, he being a blonde guy, big, and come there with a tartan pattern. So yeah, it was a good thing to see some Scottish flavour on my wedding.
Barry Ferguson picks out Rod Wallace. Alberts goes forward. The ball deflected to Arthur Newman. Tried to turn that back for Wallace. Perry cleared. But it's coming back Aberdeen's way with Van Bronkhorst. He scored this time.
Further refreshed by the squad sessions in Florida, Gio and the boys came out firing on all cylinders. Van Bronkhorst's specials against Aberdeen in the league and St Johnstone in the cup set the Jars on their way to a domestic double.
And Rangers 2 goals up. There's a good view, and Leighton should have prevented Aberdeen going 2 behind. It's Van Bronkhorst's 3rd goal of the season, and 6 minutes to go now in the first half.
It's difficult to see how St Johnstone are going to get back in it.
Kanchelskis, Van Bronkhorst, oh, brilliant! Another fine finish, again by a Dutchman, this time by Van Bronkhorst. Rangers on their way to round 4.
Yeah, tremendous strike. Very little backlift here from Van Bronkhorst as well. And he gets a tremendous amount of power on it. 2 touches, bang. And there's too much pace in that for Alan Main. And it's not the first time we've seen Van Bronkhorst deliver this kind of finish from this range. Tremendous striker of the ball. And it's difficult to see a way back for St Johnstone now.
Rangers were now in cruise control. Celtic disintegrated under the command of rookie coach John Barnes, and by the time they arrived at Ibrox in March, in the last chance saloon with Kenny Dalglish, it was Gio who gunned them down.
It's as physical as ever. Oh, Van Bronkhorst has released Kanchelskis. Kanchelskis, surely! 2-0!
Well, Giovanni van Bronkhorst had a big hand in this goal. Celtic just trying to play offside here. They step up here. And that's a fine finish there from Kanchelskis. Has a look up to see where Jonathan Gould is. And strokes it inside the right-hand post. But tremendous aggression there by Giovanni van Bronkhorst to create the chance in the first place. And that's a superb finish from the Ukrainian.
Here's Tugay. Oh, he's put Kanchelskis away. Kanchelskis. Wallace. He can't score. Van Bronkhorst can score. Giovanni van Bronkhorst. Simply the best. Often echoes around Ibrox. Now you know why.
Yeah. Inside of the left foot, just bending it inside the left-hand post. Fine finish there by Van Bronkhorst. And it just puts the icing on the cake for Rangers in an afternoon that they've dominated from start to finish.
It's been a bit of an embarrassment for Celtic.
The games we played that season, we felt the confidence in the team. Even before all matches, including Celtic, that we were so confident that we already knew that we're going to win the game. And yeah, that feeling was, I think it was very good to have. We're so confident, and well, the way we played, yeah, was also excellent in all the games. So yeah, we were quite confident that season as well, and we knew we had to become champions again.
Which is exactly what Rangers did. Celtic failed to win on the Saturday, paving the way for a Rangers exhibition performance as champions against St Johnstone on Sunday, the 23rd of April.
full width of this pitch. Here's Wallace doing a bit of shielding. Alberts on the side to Billy Dodds, and it's there! From an almost impossible angle. A beautifully manufactured goal, and there the Rangers injured players acknowledging that, especially Michael Moles, who can score goals like this. Delightful build-up here. Alberts, the good run forward by Billy Dodds, and a beautiful little chip. An exquisite finish. Reina, away goes Reina in a good position. Van Bronkhorst gives support, so does Rosenthal going in there. And it's in! Billy Dodds finishes off the move. Second of the night. Excellent play by Rosenthal, the goalkeeper, striving to get the first touch, and I think he's annoyed with himself. He didn't get in there at first. Rosenthal making that diagonal run, given time to turn it back, and Billy Dodds, avaricious as ever, getting in there. Rangers second. 15 minutes played, and he could hardly miss.
Just before the SPL trophy was presented, a certain thank you to the supporters raised the roof, and it was Gio who provided that memorable moment.
I remember the TV came to me and said, well, we're going to show something on the jumbo screens before you come out, and do you want to say something special? And I said, well, okay. And well, I just said something which came in my mind, and it was, well, just thank them for their support, and well, and I told them we are the people. And it was quite funny because we were standing in a tunnel waiting to get out, and just at that time my message was shown on the screens. And the players couldn't believe that I said it, and they said, well, you're crazy, and but they were all laughing, and yeah, it was good to hear the fans cheer.
This is our first round this season. Hopefully we get another prize with the support of you. So thank you, and we are the people.
And to finish off a perfect season in which Gio was nominated for both the Players' Player of the Year and the Football Writers' accolade were the sights and sounds of the Glasgow Orange Boom, otherwise known as the Tennent's Scottish Cup Final. It was the day the Rangers support painted the town orange in tribute to the Dutch masters, both on and off the field.
It was a good feeling that you could see, well, the Rangers supporters wearing all orange shirts and scarves and hats, so yeah, it was something special. I told Arthur it looks like we have to play for the Holland, because there were so many people wearing orange colors. So yeah, it was quite nice to see, and well, it shows you that you are really a appreciate it.
The final itself was ruined as a contest by a second-minute injury to Aberdeen keeper Jim Leighton. But the game still had to be won, and it was Gio who thumped home the opener in a 4-0 triumph.
So we're back in business, and nobody picked up Giovanni van Bronkhorst, and there was no flag, and Rangers are in front in the Scottish Cup final. The standing keeper Robbie Winters is beaten by Van Bronkhorst.
Yeah, appeals for offside, Ian, but this is the man that we spoke about. Of the Rangers midfield four, he's the one who's prepared to go beyond. He's certainly onside there. And that's a fine finish. Good early ball by Alberts. Aberdeen caught square. And he only needed one touch, one that you would imagine Jim Leighton might have coped with. And it really just goes through Robbie Winters.
I remember there was a foul committed to one of our players, and I saw George standing at the ball, and we had eye contact, and well, I just said to him, well, over the player, and then yeah, I made my run, and he gave it perfectly, and I scored a goal. I don't know if the goal would have went in if a goalkeeper was in the goal, but yeah, I scored a goal, and that was the most important thing. And, because we didn't play that well the first half against Aberdeen, and well, it was just good to go 1-0 up, and well, in the second half, within 10 minutes, we were 4-0 up. So that was another trophy in the bag.
They add a 29th Scottish Cup to a 49th title. 100 trophies overall. They are resolute, they are remarkable, they are Rangers. Scottish double winners in the year 2000.
Treble, then a double. 5 domestic trophies out of 6. Then it was time for Giovanni and Arthur Newman to head home to carry the hopes of a nation into Euro 2000. After the pain of being a spectator in France, this time Gio was in the thick of it, playing a vital part in the group wins over the Czech Republic and Denmark, but also picking up damaging bookings. He was back for the semi-final with Italy, which Holland unfortunately lost in a penalty shootout. The development of Giovanni van Bronkhorst from Dutch prospect to world-class midfielder has been fascinating to witness. Game by game, season by season, with Rangers and Holland, he has grown in stature.
It made me very happy. Of course, to be playing for the national team, because the years before I was involved, but I didn't play that much. And now I was one of the players who started the game. And for me, yeah, it's a big honor to play for your country and to be involved in a big tournament like the Euro 2000 is. So, yeah, it was quite a, well, how do you say that? The biggest moment in my career for my country.
Aberdeen's way with Van Bronkhorst. He scored this time. Not to be denied. And Jim Leighton will feel he should have kept this out.
If ever the precarious nature of a professional footballer's career can be illustrated, the perfect example emerged during the first half of the 2000-2001 season. Van Bronkhorst was out of the blocks like a rocket, scoring scorching goals from distance almost at will. 6 in 11 games, including sensational strikes against each of the Champions League group opponents. Undoubtedly Rangers' top performer, he turned in a string of superb shows as Advocaat's side seemed certain to make the second phase for the first time.
This season we qualified for the Champions League again, and well, we were in the same group as Sturm Graz, Monaco and Galatasaray, and well, from the beginning we had the feeling that well, that we could make it now to the second stage, and well, we started off quite well against Sturm Graz, and well, I scored my first Champions League goal for Rangers.
Well, mix up again from Sturm Graz. Off goes De Boer. That's good skill too. He's got Dodds in support. Might not need him. Still De Boer. Then Van Bronkhorst. It's another super goal from Rangers.
Looks there. He wants to have a little pop at the keeper, but he's measured it. Inch perfect and a magnificent finish.
It was quality all the way.
Ronald gave me the ball perfectly, and I just shot it on the left corner from the keeper. And yeah, it was a good start for Rangers. To get the 3 points was excellent. So we had to go then to Monaco. And, well, we knew that it would be a much stronger side than Sturm Graz. And, well, they played very well, but I think we did as well at that time. We controlled the first half hour we controlled, and yeah, to score again, my second goal in the Champions League from a really difficult angle.
Just over 7 minutes played. There's Konteman. Alan Johnson gets his freedom. Held on to it very well. Johnson still there. Ferguson wide. Newman. Van Bronkhorst. He'll let fly. It's a great goal by Van Bronkhorst. Superb strike. Almost a replica of how he put it away against the Austrians. He kept it low, he kept it down and drilled it away from the goalkeeper, and no wonder they're jubilant, as Parato had absolutely no chance. He may, Tommy, have been slightly blinded at first.
I think really, you know, this patient build-up. Newman plays the ball into Van Bronkhorst about 30 yards. Magnificent strike. I don't think the goalkeeper was blind. I think it was just the pace of the ball. You see the swerve on it there, out to in. Absolutely magnificent start for Rangers. That could settle things down for them.
As soon as I got the ball, I just had in mind to shoot on goal. And I actually saw the angle on TV like 2 days later, and when I saw the real curve in the ball, and I just was surprised that it was such a big curve. But at the time I was very happy to score. And in the end, it was a very hard-fought 3 points, because we were under loads of pressure after that 1-0, but we just fought, and the defense played very well. Guy as well. And from that day, we called him Beckenbauer, because he was an excellent sweeper. So, well, 2 games played, 6 points. Goal difference plus 5, so we were really doing well. The third game we had to go to Istanbul, play against Galatasaray, and well, started not so good into the game, but yeah, Galatasaray didn't have many chances, so they came in the second half. They came after 20-25 minutes. They were 3-0 up, and they scored some easy goals. I mean, some goals we could have prevented, but well, at that time you cannot do anything about it, and just want to get the best out of the game. So we came 3-1. Andre scored a header, and 5 minutes before time, or 10 minutes before time, I hit the post. Came in from the right inside and just hit the post. Well, I was very frustrated that game because they weren't the much better team, but we were 3-1 down, and then, well, 2 minutes before time we had the free kick on the 18-yard box, and well, I think I put all my frustration into the strike, and I don't think I've hit it that hard my whole career.
Billy Dodds goes into the wall. Oh, that's a superb strike.
Magnificent strike,
Tremendous
Van
strike
Bronkhorst.
by Van Bronkhorst as he goes right in there, drives it in, and I think they realise, superb though it was, 3-2, not enough with just seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's a magnificent strike, and you just wonder if they'd have showed this type of attitude in the early part of the game, because as you said earlier there, I think it's the last 15 minutes that they've had shots at goal. But this is magnificent strike. The wall breaks up obviously, and Tafarel left with not a hope.
Yeah, it was one of the best goals I scored. So, but in the end we were still first place, and we were quite confident that we could make it. And well, then my injury came.
Van Bronkhorst, he might think about hitting it from here, and he does indeed. Oh, what a goal! Giovanni van Bronkhorst! And how did he think about hitting it? And what a finish! Well, he may be exhausted, and who can blame him? He's put in a shift. He's added a goal, and a goal of quality. Look at that strike!
It was an injury which robbed Rangers of their most free-flowing talent. Gio had felt the same groin problem before, but it had cleared with rest. This time, however, it was deeper seated.
The injury started after the Dundee United game, a game which I scored again, and we went off with the national team. We had to play against Cyprus and Portugal, and during the week I had some problems with my groin. Some stiffness, and just felt a little bit sore, but I got treatment, and yeah, it went okay. I mean, I could have played the game, no problems. And then after the game on Sunday, I had a big reaction, and I just felt sore, and I couldn't walk properly, and well, from that moment on, the injury didn't went well the way I wanted to be.
A draw in the home game against the Turks meant Rangers needed another victory to be sure of qualification for the second group stage, and Gio was brought back for the visit to Austria. But the defeat by Sturm Graz was to be one game too many for him, and his season came to an abrupt halt. Some weeks later, he was under the surgeon's knife.
Well, in my case, I had an operation, and so I couldn't do anything for about 2 or 3 weeks, and well, after that your muscles becomes really weak, and so in the weeks after that I had to strengthen my muscle up, so that you can do that by running and by swimming, but also exercising on these kind of things, and that will make your muscle quite stronger. So I think that's very important for a football player, but when you're not injured, you have to do it as well, because you then keep your fitness and your muscles on a good strength.
And to go with a strong body, you need a strong mind.
I think the mentality is the most important. I mean, your physical presence, well, of course it's handy, but it's not the most important thing in football. If you are clever and you are not afraid of taking tackles and get into the action, then I think you're all right. So I don't think I have any fear of making tackles and making some duels on midfield. And that, for me, it's a thing I've learned here in Scotland, because in Holland I played on the midfield and I didn't have to do those things. But if you don't do them here, then then the fans won't like it, because you're letting your colleagues down.
And the lessons he's learned in Scotland have benefited his international career, where he's a key figure in the campaign to qualify for the World Cup in 2002. As the Dutch squad gathered at their headquarters at Honderlo, an hour from Amsterdam, for a friendly against Turkey on the last day of February, it was obvious that Gio was greatly missed.
He's a very nice guy, and he can contribute a lot to the Dutch team. He has scored a very decisive goal against Ireland in left back position, but he can also play left midfielder. And he has a strong shot, and he is also a guy who can serve the team. He can play in service of the team, and that's very important.
Gio had been instrumental in getting Louis van Gaal's first points in the bid for the finals in Japan.
It was very important because we were at that time 1-2 behind, and I had yelled to him that he has to go more forward, and then he was more pushing to attack, and then he scored, and I was very happy for him, but also for myself. But it was very important because when you start with a defeat in a home game, it's not good to start.
And the highly respected Dutch manager looks forward to bringing Gio back into the fold, as does one of the finest players in Europe.
He was playing for Feyenoord, and yeah, he was one of the great players of his team, so that's why I know him really well. And I think he and Bobby Petter, who's playing now for Celtic, were the two great guys of Feyenoord. And we were always afraid of those two. And always, also I remember he was playing with me under 14 in the Dutch team, under 14, 15, 16. All those teams he played with me. And I have very good relationship with Giovanni. I think Giovanni is a fantastic player for the team. Get very good skills. I think every skill what a professional football player on his position needs, he has. From my point of vision, that Giovanni is better on the midfield, left midfield, because he can run really long, if I can say it like this. But yeah, for me, Giovanni is a left midfielder, but for the team, what we said before, he can play also left defender. He's a very relaxed guy because in the Euro 2000 he was with me in the room. We have four bedrooms in one house, you know, and he was on side of me. And yeah, he's a really good guy, and yeah, knows about many things.
Here in Scotland, it's been a tortuous time, a nightmare for the stricken star, but now he's back, and once more rivals everywhere are bracing themselves to feel the Gio force.
He has always played for me in a Dutch team when he was fit, and I hope he can return at that level, because then I have a very good left-footed player in my team.
Hopefully he can go on the way he developed himself in the last two and a half years. And what I said, he was already a very important player for us, but unfortunately for him and for Rangers, he was almost the whole season out. So he has to start again.